Hi, this is Vincent, and welcome to Right of Way, a vlog about traffic, transport, and road safety. Today I thought I'd take a little departure from our usual format and just talk to you about some things that have been on my mind. So let's take a walk. A couple of weeks ago, one of our followers on Twitter tweeted about what he thought was a ticket trap in Kansas City, near my neighborhood. Where you make a right turn and you get caught for making the right turn on a red. So what I did was I sent a tweet to the MMDA and I asked them, well, what is the general rule about rights on red? Are they allowed? And what is the rule? And so far I haven't received an answer from the MMDA on this. Apparently it seems that they're not sure about what the rule is. But it really got me thinking about rules and specifically traffic rules. And you know, I've been big on this and the importance of rules being clear so that they can be properly enforced. I did an episode called Stop Human Traffic Cones, which was specifically about the need for greater enforcement. But enforcement can't really be done unless the rules are clear, and I think I've been talking a lot about this as well, both on Twitter and in some episodes. I did a whole series, as you may recall, called The Fault in Our Signs, about the importance of signs and how they have to be standardized so that people can understand them. And I talk about these things because I think it's very important for the rules to always be clear. And I don't think the MMDA or any of the local enforcers have a right to enforce any type of traffic rule unless the rules are clear. And I've also noticed in my episode on Stop Human Traffic Cones that the MMDA in particular has not been good about enforcing rules. I have videos showing traffic violations happening right in front of or in the back of their enforcers. And this is important to me because it really, I think, leads to a sense that the rules aren't to be followed. That sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Depends on the mood of the enforcer. It depends if there's an enforcer or not. And yet when you go to other countries, we always say this about ourselves. You put a Filipino driver in another country and he or she will almost always follow the rules. Because why? Because they're scared of getting caught, right? Because when we're in a foreign country, or not even a foreign country, we always use Subic as an example. When our motorists are driving in Subic, we know that everyone will follow the rules there. And that's primarily because they know the rules there are clear and that they will be enforced. And I think this is important for a much bigger reason. Because traffic rules, the rules that we see on the road every day, I think are some of the most basic rules. Whether you're a pedestrian, a motorist, a commuter, whatever, when you're out on the road, there are certain rules that we should follow just to maintain a certain amount of order on the road so that our roads don't just break out into total chaos, which, as we know in Metro Manila, they really have broken into total chaos. But I think there's a bigger issue here with regards to following rules, and that is, if we can't even follow the most simple rules, and I think the road rules are among the most simple, how can we as a people, as Filipinos, be expected to follow the larger and more important rules? There's this theory in criminology, and it's still a theory and it's still controversial, but I believe it to be true. And this is called the broken windows theory. And it goes something like this. If you walk in a neighborhood and there's a building with a broken window, and if every day you walk by that building and the window remains broken, then the community gets a sense that there's nobody really watching, that nobody really cares. So maybe a second window will be broken, and then a third, and then a fourth. And then slowly the neighborhood will degenerate. Maybe there'll be more crimes that will result of that, because there is a sense that nobody's watching, nobody cares. And I think as far as road rules are concerned in our country, I think the broken windows theory kind of applies here. Because if on the road you get the sense that nobody really cares, and nobody watches, nobody really enforces, or if there is a traffic cop there at the corner, maybe it's negotiable, then it really leads to a sense that rules and laws are not really meant to be followed, that they're sort of suggestions, as some people say. And I think there's a real problem with that. And I think this is one of the main reasons why I started this vlog in the first place. Because all around us, when we drive around Metro Manila, when we walk around, when we commute, we see violation after violation after violation. And these things happen right in the front of the enforcers. And so you, as a motorist, as a pedestrian, as a commuter, you say, well, if these rules aren't going to be enforced and anybody can break the rules and anybody can cut the line, then what's the incentive for me to follow the rules, right? And so this leads, I think, in my opinion, to a general breakdown in respect for law and order. Now, on one hand, I'm kind of a big law and order guy. I think rules are out there, should be followed. But at the same time, I think sometimes rules should be challenged. Because sometimes the guys, the men and women who make the rules aren't always doing it with our best interests at heart. Or maybe they haven't considered everything when they make the rules. And so sometimes I think, well, it's healthy to challenge rules. But when the rules are in place, you should follow them. But that doesn't mean you should never challenge them. Okay, so I'm kind of on both sides of that. But generally, I believe, especially when it comes to road rules should always be followed. And so that's, I don't know if I'm making sense, but that's sort of my point for this episode. The road rules are the most simple rules that we can follow, aside from the no littering and those kinds of rules. And if our enforcers aren't going to enforce them, then it really leads to a sense that rules are really not meant to be followed, that they're merely suggestions, as many of us believe, and that they're negotiable. And I think because of that, we see the kind of chaos that we see on our city streets. And so that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. And I hope through this vlog, through future episodes, and even some of the episodes I've already done, that the authorities can pay more attention to this issue, that they can really be better about enforcing the rules, making the rules clear, first of all, and that's why I started with the fault in our signs. We had a 3-part series on that, and I keep on harping on that. The signs have to be clear. They have to be unambiguous, so that we have a basis upon which to enforce, right? And then the enforcers can enforce. When the rules are clear, then they have the right to enforce. But unless the rules are clear, I don't think they have the right to enforce. So anyway, this went on longer than I thought it was going to take. I just wanted to share that with you this episode. As you can see, I'm not in the Philippines. I'm currently traveling. So I had no guests to interview today. So it's just me you had. So those are my thoughts. I'd appreciate some feedback on what I shared with you today. If you agree, disagree, what your thoughts are. If you have any ideas, thoughts, photos, videos, suggestions, please email us at rightofway@rappler.com, or you can send us a message on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at rightofwayph. Until then, this is Vincent, and I'm out of here. Stay safe on the road, guys.